Welcome to this video. In this video I want to talk about our very popular devices that we use all the time, which is the smartphone. Commonly known as the supercomputer these days, because when I was a kid we dreamed about having a 486 Pentium PC. We didn't have phones in them days, and you know, I could only dream about having a PC like that. And this has probably got more processing power than any PC that I could ever think about owning when I was a kid. But obviously the reason phones are so popular is you can take pictures of things you're interested in. You know, you can have contacts, you can use Skype, WhatsApp, you can go on the internet, you can buy things off Amazon and eBay, keep in touch with your friends, you know, play games, you know, do even your homework. I would have thought on these devices. You've got calculators on there, literally the perfect device for doing anything you want to do. However, the problem you'll find is a lot of these manufacturers don't want to help you get your phone fixed if it breaks down. So the likes of Samsung, Google Pixels, Sony, Apple, and any other brand that does a smartphone like this, they don't want to help you get your phone repaired. Now, I've done a lot of research recently, and I've looked into a few things. So if you go to an authorized Apple repairer, right, generally they'll say to you, I can't repair your phone, I'm going to have to send it to China, it's probably going to be gone a week before we get it back. If you're lucky, it'll take a week, probably 2 weeks. So you're out without a phone for over some period of time, and the price they'll quote you will be quite a bit of money, pretty much 3/4 of the cost of the phone in terms of what it's worth. So they'll steer you to buy a new phone. That's their whole concept. Apple and the other manufacturers will steer you towards buying a new phone whenever possible. However, the problem comes when it comes to your data, right? It's very important your data is to you. You may have pictures, you may have selfies with friends or famous people, you know, you wanted to keep, special moments. You know, obviously when it comes to your kids, you may have special moments videoed or photographs on your phone that Apple and the other manufacturers will say is not recoverable. And that's the problem. They are pretty much lying to you. You see, you can go to an unauthorized repairer and they more than likely will be able to get your phone repaired. How do they do this? Well, what they do is they will open your laptop up or your phone up and look to see what's wrong with it, and they will try and basically take the chips out that are bad. If there's corrosion there, resolder it, put new chips on there, and try and get the phone working. Let me tell you a story. So a hiker in Norway died, gone missing for 9 months, and the family knew nothing about it. Right. Now this person, this hiker, had an iPad where he went everywhere with it, took pictures on his iPad as well, and the relatives was really concerned. So the police one day found his body, had an iPad, went to Apple and said, can you tell us anything? Can you get any imagery off the machine? But obviously it had been in the elements for about 10 months, and obviously a lot of water had got into the tablet, so obviously they couldn't work it, and it was non-functional. Apple didn't even try and open the device to figure it out. So what happened is the relatives sent this iPad that the police couldn't do anything with, and neither was Apple prepared to do anything with, and they sent it over to a repairer, an unauthorized repairer, who's quite popular on YouTube in America, called Jessa Jones. She runs a company called iPad Rehab, and she fixes devices. She originally started the business as a single mom, and she taught other moms how to do the same thing. And she's very inquisitive about repairing devices that are broken. So what Jessa Jones did was literally take the motherboard out, replace a load of chips, clean it, and managed to get the device working and get a load of imagery of the dad that had died, you know, and obviously send that to Norway to this lady, to the family. So this is a very important story, I think I'm telling, because it does tell you that the likes of Apple and other manufacturers don't care. They don't care about you or your data or how important it is to you. And they say to you, we can't recover your data. And yet, you can go to an unauthorised repairer who, if they're really skilled in their craft, they can open up your device, they can take chips out, solder it, get the device up and running. The problem with the manufacturers is what they're trying to do now is they're trying to stop these third-party unauthorised repairers from helping you out with your device by putting software in their devices to stop people using those devices. So the likes of Rossmann, who's quite popular on YouTube at the moment, got over 1 million subscribers. I will put links in the description box. And Jessa Jones, and there are probably many others doing this as well. I think that there's someone in Australia as well who does that. I think he's called Paul Daniels. Not to get confused with the magician in the UK who's called Paul Daniels. And I suspect there'll be others in the UK as well as in America that do this for a living. What they basically do is repair devices for people who go to the likes of Apple and say, can you help me out with my device? And they turn around and say to you, no, there's nothing we can do. You'll have to get yourself a new phone, or we can send your device over to China. And what they'll just do is swap some components in the phone and bring it back to the UK or America or wherever you've gone to the Apple store. These so-called Apple geniuses, that are supposed to be geniuses about anything electronical in terms of your devices, and ultimately speaking, you're going to spend quite a bit of money for that service. I think the sort of fee you might be expected to pay minimum 150 quid probably. But I just want to talk about these third-party repairers such as Rossmann and Jessa Jones, who have been campaigning for the right to repair devices in America, and I think something similar needs to happen in the rest of the world as well. Because I think it's got to a point where all these smartphone manufacturers seem to think they can do what the hell they like and bugger to you. But the reason I wanted to make this video is to tell you that you can recover your data. Phones and laptops can be repaired, albeit not easily. Obviously it means a lot of knowledge, a lot of skill, such as soldering, getting chips, putting them in there, and then knowing what you're doing in regards to the software side of it. But it does seem to be a lot of manufacturers now putting blocks in the way to try and prevent these third-party repairers helping you out. Because I think what's key is, listen, Apple, if you don't want to repair your phones, you don't want to get the data off the phones for your customers, just come out and say, we don't offer that service. But go to the third-party manufacturers, we will support the third-party manufacturers, we will send them the chips, the soldering equipment that they need to do the job, and we will, you know, support them in providing a service. Because that's what this is coming down to. The likes of Apple, right, don't want you to get your phone repaired. They want you to get a new, brand new phone instead. But the problem they're missing out on, the big question they're missing out on here, the whole issue they're not discussing, is one thing that's really important, right? What about all your data on your phone? You've lost it. because they're not willing to repair your phone. They won't even offer a data recovery service, which I think is a big missing business opportunity here, because you can certainly you would certainly make a lot of money if you were prepared to offer that as a service as well. So to get to the gist of this video is I'm going to recommend Louis Rossmann or Jessa Jones if you live in the United States of America. If you live outside America, obviously, you can go online and do a Google search for unauthorized Apple repairers and approach them. But what I would recommend is you do your research, because the last thing you want to do is approach someone who you think is a bit dodgy and don't know what they're doing. So do your research, just remember that. But remember, if you go to an Apple store and they say your phone can't be repaired, don't believe them. Consider other repairers that are not Apple authorized. The difference between Apple authorized repairers and unauthorized repairers is an unauthorized repairer can repair your phone and probably get your data off it. An authorized repairer will more or less say the same thing that Apple stores will tell you, and the reason for that is Apple tell the authorized repairers more or less what to do, and if you don't toe the line, we're going to take that authorized status off you. So in effect, authorized repairers are pretty much the same as Apple repairers. They might not want to say that if you were to ring them up, but pretty much they won't tell you the reality of it or the truth. But in regards to an unauthorized repairer, if your phone happened to have a slight problem, let's say I don't know, there was a power chip in there that wasn't charging the battery properly. If you went to an unauthorized repairer, he might not even charge you to get it fixed. And yet if you went to Apple, they'll probably say minimum £150 to send it off, and then there's no guarantee that they could repair it. And let's say they do send it off to China, it gets lost in the post, then what? So I think the essence of this video, if it should teach you anything, is back up your data regularly onto a computer, because you can't trust Apple to help you out when your phone goes dead. Hope this video gave you a bit of information. Again, please check the links in the description box if you do live in the United States to iPad Rehab and Louis Rossmann. I highly recommend them. They're really informative, they know what they're doing. Louis Rossmann does a lot of videos on YouTube in regards to showing you how he repairs devices. The same is true of iPad Rehab, which is owned by Jessa Jones. Again, she does the same sort of thing, but the internet is full of stories of them literally doing things that Apple wouldn't do, and they do criticize Apple on a regular basis. And more than likely other manufacturers, another company I probably could mention would be the Surface laptop that Microsoft have come out with, which is literally, according to iFixit, unrepairable. To open that Surface laptop, you have to more or less destroy it. That means that these manufacturers, while they preach e-waste, we don't want to send things to landfill, we don't want to send harmful chemicals into the soil, into the ground, polluting the world, but their practices say another thing altogether. We want you to buy new phones so that we can send those old phones to landfill. That's what they're saying. Anyway, I hope this video was a bit informative. Again, check the links. I just wanted to do this video to try and support the fact that what Louis and Jessa are doing over in the States is something you should support. The right to repair is what they're supporting at the moment. So, if you're interested in America, obviously, this is just mainly a video for the American audience, really. But I just wanted to say that if you are interested in having your device repaired, approach those unauthorised repairers, and they should be able to help you out. Thank you for the views and have a nice day.